Good morning. My plan for today is to visit a Buddhist temple right here in the Hungarian countryside. You might say that this might not be a good idea, especially if you know this country only from the news, where countries tend to be reduced to their government. And yes, the Hungarian government is quite right-wing, conservative, populist. But as somebody who's been traveling to this country for almost 30 years or more than 30 years, and I have spent in total about 2 years here, I have to say that my personal experience is different. Most people I have met are really open-minded. They show a lot of respect and also appreciation for different cultures, and that's how you can find all kinds of influences. That was difficult. All kinds of influences from different cultures here. And yeah, why not a Buddhist temple? I mean, last year I've been visiting a Hare Krishna village. So yeah, let's go. Got another about 40 kilometers to go, so you don't find these things at every corner. Okay, see you in about 2 hours. Finally reached my destination. Took me a bit longer than I thought, about 1 hour, because there were some serious hills. So that's another misconception about Hungary. People think it's all flat, but there are definitely some hills, especially in this region, in the north of Lake Balaton. So I am in Zalaszántó, or just leaving this village right now. And this is where this Buddhist temple is located. Oh, there is already a poster. I have to turn left. So it is not actually a temple, it's a stupa. And it should be somewhere on top of one of these hills. So let's see. Stupa, another 2.5 kilometers. The name is Béke Sztupa, and Béke means peace in Hungarian. So it is the Peace Stupa. Okay, turning left. Oh, yeah, on the top of that hill. You probably cannot see it, but I can actually see the tip of this stupa. Let's go. The reason why it took me longer was not only because of the hills, it was also because I took a few wrong turns. But that's okay, because, you know, the Buddha said if there were no wrong turns, the right turn wouldn't exist. Well, I'm actually not sure if it was the Buddha who said it, or maybe Lao Tzu. I don't know. Or maybe I just made it up. And here we are. Hungarian flag, of course. And what I would say what you can find in this souvenir shop is more like a mixture of Buddhist and Hindu symbols like Ganesha, and also some random stuff, I would say. But okay, who cares? I mean, This is just a souvenir shop, nothing more. This gate seems to be the gate of wisdom. What else do we have? The Stupa, of course. A meditation center and the Dharma shop. So I guess that this is the meditation center. And over there we can already see the Stupa. Let's have a look at the meditation center first. I think you can do some guided meditation here at certain times. It's probably closed right now. Okay, you can go inside. Of course, need to take off your shoes, but I have to say I am currently not really in the mood for that. Just had three and a half hours of cycling meditation, so to say, and I don't really have that much time. Okay, and here we got another souvenir shop. I think that this is what is called the Dharma shop, which I would say is somehow a contradiction in itself. Okay, because I don't think you can buy the Dharma in a shop whatsoever. Okay, so here we are. It's really quite impressive, I have to say. It is larger than I thought. So as I already mentioned, I said that this is a temple in the beginning. Well, it is kind of a temple, but Stupa is a little bit different. You cannot go inside, you can just walk around, and what it symbolizes is enlightenment. And it also somehow symbolizes the shape of a sitting Buddha, meditating Buddha. Well, you need a little bit of fantasy to imagine that. Really like these Buddhist prayer flags here. Okay, so let's go up. You should, well, at least if I remember correctly, you always should walk around these stupas in a clockwise way. Going up another level, and look at that golden Buddha statue. So this thing, if I remember correctly, was built in the 1980s. Selfie time, maybe. Okay, let's walk around. I'm wondering if you can turn these, because I'm not sure if you're supposed to do that. But that is normally what they are for. They don't sound that good. Okay, that's it. As I said, you cannot go inside a stupa. It's just a monument that symbolizes enlightenment, and what you're supposed to do is to walk around. So, who is this guy? Ksiti Garba Bodhisattva. So this is some Buddhist monk. So Bodhisattva just means somebody who is striving for enlightenment. So seems to be some famous Buddhist monk here. So, time for me to go. So this is definitely a very interesting place. It is not what I expected. Much more crowded, much more people here than I thought. And my impression is that most of them, of course, are just normal tourists like myself. But I think there are maybe 10-20% of the people here are really somehow following some kind of Buddhist belief. So I saw people meditating and doing some kinds of ritual acts, whatever. So very interesting and not what I expected. And you could definitely spend more time in this place, but I have to go back another 60-65 kilometer bike ride, and I like to get home before it gets dark. Actually know very little about the history of this place. So here we are. So okay, I was a little bit wrong when I said it was in the 1980s when it was built. It was actually in 1993, and soon after that it seems that the Dalai Lama was here, who was very popular at that time, but no longer that popular right now. I'm on my way back. Just made about 5 kilometers and wanted to show you this beautiful landscape here. Look at these hills. I think these are called the Keszthely Hills, and there is a castle on one of them. So let me tell you a few more things. So first of all, how do you find this place with the Buddhist Stupa? The name of the village is Zalaszántó, and it is located about 10 kilometers north of Keszthely. Keszthely is the town at the southwestern end of Lake Balaton. So that should be easy to find. Another thing I like to tell you is what is my own relationship with Buddhism. I already mentioned that I am not a Buddhist, but you know, I have been fascinated with Eastern religion and philosophy for quite a long time, especially one direction, and that is Zen Buddhism. So I've really been fascinated with Zen Buddhism for a really long time, and you have to know that Zen is actually some kind of mixture between Buddhism and Taoism, the old Chinese, well, what is it, the philosophy, and it is actually more the Taoism part that I like. It's more the Taoism part than the Buddhism part. So Buddhism itself is definitely a much more peaceful religion than the monotheistic religions. So that's positive. But stop doing with my bike. Okay. But it still has a lot of, from my point of view, stupid rituals and things you do that don't really make sense. So I don't think it's important that everything should make sense, but well, it's not what I am doing. So basically I am agnostic, so I don't follow any religion, but then I have no issue with other people doing so. So what about Taoism, which is actually not a religion, but I don't think how I should call it, a way of thought, a philosophy, whatever. And what I really like about Taoism is that it kind of avoids one big mistake that most Westerners make. So most Westerners try to, just taking up my bike, most Westerners actually try to fight a war that they can never win. What they do is, to put it really simple, they try to completely eradicate everything they don't like. So they kind of think, it is possible to remove everything that is bad, to avoid it, and then everything will be fine. And I don't believe this is the case. And Taoism actually has this in its philosophy. So one of the main points of Taoism is that everything has two sides, yin and yang and all that stuff. Everything has two sides, so there is no good without the bad. There is no life without death, and so on. And this, to my mind, is a very important wisdom. And this is an essential part of Zen Buddhism because it is partly derived from Taoism. And actually the Buddha himself had some very similar ideas. But this is kind of completely independent from Taoism because Buddha lived in India. So if he lived at all, you never know, with these ancient religious figures. But he was supposed to have lived in India, and Taoism came from China. And yeah, then at some time later they kind of met, they mixed, and what came out was Zen Buddhism. Okay, I think that this is the end of my video for today. Hope you enjoyed it, and see you next time. Bye bye.